running through it. I think it's already gone to the governor's desk. It will put a cap on the boards and commissions of the fees that they collect. And what we did was work with Representative Kavanaugh and worked with Representative Vaught, and Mary Bentley was in there and several others. And what we did was we went back and did a historical average of how much they have in their cash surplus or in their cash funds. And what we found out is that if some of them, if they just quit collecting the fees, that they could sustain themselves for some as long as 50 years. And so what we did, we got our heads together and said, why continue to collect fees if all you're doing is just building up your cash surplus? So what we did was we went back, and what we've done is passed a law that says when you've hit a 3-year average of surplus in your accounts, you have to suspend collecting fees. So that means, like, if you're a barber, if you're a beautician, or if you're architect, or whatever the case may be, that you're paying fees into your boards and commission, when it hits a 3-year average. The reason we picked 3 years was because that carries us through a fiscal session and a general session, but they have to suspend collecting those fees. So that's money directly back into people that are paying fees with boards and commissions. Also, one of the things we did was there is if you submit yourself voluntarily to a mental health institution because you're having mental health issues, your Second Amendment rights are automatically suspended. So what we did was that if you voluntarily submit yourself and you're released, you get your Second Amendment rights back and you're able to get your concealed carry back. That is going through. Of course, you know, today, Representative McClure and 78, did you say? 78 votes out of the House, the LEARNS Act was passed today.
Yes, sir.
Through the House. Now it's got to come back to the Senate for us to concur in an amendment that was worked out to address some things. It'll come back to the Senate next week, and we fully expect that'll be on the governor's desk next week for her to sign. There's a prison reform bill that's probably going to drop in the next week because we know that we're dealing with criminals on the street. We're trying to get it, worked out. Of course, money is the issue. Trying to get it worked out to where we build a new prison so that we can help Rodney ride over there and all law enforcement be able to lock up the ones that need to be locked up. One of the things too was that it got out of the Senate today or yesterday, I can't remember. It got out of the Senate one day, going to the House. I sponsored a bill to put a monument on the Capitol grounds that will honor the 250,000 babies that were aborted in Arkansas alone during the Roe versus Wade era, and just felt it was important that we have a monument on the Capitol grounds for all those 250,000+ babies that were aborted, so that hopefully future generations and current generations, when they walk by that, they'll remember a painful time in our state history and in our U.S. history, so that we don't ever go down that road again. And I was also approached, I can't tell you who until it's done, but I was also approached by some monument companies that said we will donate the monument. Hopefully they'll come through with it. It's got to go through the process to get the design. There's already been a design that's been submitted tentatively. That'll have to go through the channels to be approved, so it's tastefully done. But that just shows you that there are people that are eager to get that done, that are willing to donate it. And then finally, and then I'll just open up to questions. Then we have also been working for the last 6 months to a year. A group has been working on 25 bills dealing with election integrity. What we did was we took the Heritage Report, where we were, and I've mentioned this before, we were at number 4 after the last legislative session because we worked together to pass 16 bills that took us from where we were up to number 4 ranking. After that ranking came out, what happened then was some other states took some of our legislation and some other ideas, and they passed them, and when they did, that dropped us to number 6. Not because we did anything wrong, it was because they were wanting to take some of our legislation and model it in their state, and then they got raided and we just got caught. So our goal is to be the number 1 state for election integrity. So there's been a group of us been working for 6 to 8 months on a package of 25 bills. What we did was Representative Carlton Wing was on the House side, I was on the Senate side, and we brought others in, and we worked to get this package together. And then instead of him running all the House bills and me running all the Senate bills, we met with legislators, with representatives and senators, And we said, here it is. This is what we got. And individuals stepped up and said, I'll take this one, I'll take that one, and we spread it around. So far, we are on a pretty fast track to success to getting those 25 bills passed. But that happened over a development of 6 to 8 months until finally we got it and we dropped it. Now, I will be glad to answer any questions that you want to ask me tonight. I know some of you are here to talk about Senate Bill 250.